Hot. The first feeling I had upon waking up was hot. My whole body was burning up. It was the kind of heat that made you want to jump into a swimming pool to cool down. I vaguely opened my eyes, and everything around me seemed so unfamiliar, yet with a sense of déjà vu. Where is this place? Wasn't I dead? Why is my whole body so hot? After death, was I being punished in the 18th level of hell? Huh. That's not right. My whole body is hot. How could a dead person feel hot? Oh my goodness. This familiar feeling. Isn't this what happens when you've been dosed with something? Could it be that I've been reborn to that night 2 years ago? In my past life, my younger sister schemed against me, giving me juice laced with something and sending me to some ugly man's hotel room. Although I wasn't taken advantage of in the end, the entertainment reporters my sister had called on time took pictures, and from then on I was labeled as a mistress who destroyed other people's families, leading to 3 years of depression and eventual suicide. And my sister used the opportunity to take my original betrothal and lived an enviable, wealthy life. Damn it. No way. I need to leave this dangerous place first. I stumbled and opened the room door. The corridor was empty, so it seemed the reporters hadn't arrived yet. I endured the heat and walked while holding onto the wall. That drug. It actually makes you feel weak all over. My good sister, don't let me find an opportunity, or else I'll kill you. I finally managed to reach the elevator, and the buttons were blurry. My fingers weakly pressed a bunch of them randomly, and I kept praying that those unscrupulous reporters wouldn't come up so quickly. Finally, with a ding, the elevator doors opened. I pinched my thigh, and the pain brought tears to my eyes, giving me a bit of strength to walk into the elevator. I'll go to the top floor first and avoid those reporters. I opened my eyes and was startled. There was a man in the elevator, and he was also drugged. You. The man saw my equally disheveled state, surprised for a moment, and then his eyes showed an undeniable possessiveness. Sir, you look so familiar. I shook my head, trying to see more clearly, but it made my head spin more, and my vision doubled. The man chuckled softly, his voice sexy, enticing one to commit crimes. Especially for me, who was drugged, I felt an unbearable itch. I secretly reached out to flirt with the man. Sir, are you alone? 2. Does this drug differentiate between men and women? The man looked down at me, not saying a word. I was extremely nervous, but I had to bite the bullet and ask, we're truly in the same boat. Wouldn't it be better if we make do with each other than explode from the heat? The man impatiently ripped open his tie, revealing his sexy Adam's apple, and his thin lips slowly uttered a word. Okay. The elevator dinged and opened. The man directly swept me up into a Princess Carrie and strode out of the elevator. I was dumbfounded. Why is it that we're both drugged, but you have so much strength, while I'm weak all over? Does this drug differentiate between men and women? Unfortunately, my brain had already started to shut down. The clarity I gained from pinching my thigh was all used up, and as the drug took effect, I was a mess. My eyes were blurry to the point where I couldn't see people clearly, my mouth was dry, and I just wanted to satisfy my physiological needs. I only vaguely heard words like lock down the hotel and do not disturb. Then I was carried into a room with a large bed. The burning sensation all over my body was too unbearable. I wanted to undo my gown, but I didn't have the strength. I was so angry and frustrated that I cried. What a stupid dress. So hard to take off. The man heard this and let out a low, sexy laugh. So impatient? Looking at me. Do you know who I am? Are you going to do it or not? If not, I'll change to someone else. Maybe my words provoked the man because he sneered. Just don't regret it. I was burning with desire, unable to bear it any longer, and I don't know where the strength came from, but I flipped him over and pushed him onto the bed. I fumbled to unbutton his shirt while searching for his lips. I had been craving his lips since I got into the elevator, and now I could finally taste them. The man was stubborn too, and he flipped me back onto the bed. Little wildcat, it's better for the man to take the initiative in this kind of thing. 3. I actually slept with my nemesis. Who was the bastard who said that? Make him come out. A woman can take the initiative too. I began to physically resist. Unfortunately, I couldn't resist the man. He easily suppressed my struggling body. Be good, let me do it this time, or you'll get hurt. The man's cool voice laughed, and he continued his feast. The good times began. Due to the effects of the drug, I fell asleep groggily. Harsh sunlight peeked playfully through the curtain seams, kissing me awake from my slumber. I turned my head away to avoid it and continued sleeping. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I suddenly opened my eyes, looking at the muscular chest under my hand, and fell into thought. How could there be a naked man in my bed? My gaze moved down. Oh, wow. Six-pack abs. Uncontrollably, my hand traveled from his chest to his six-pack, pressing them hard. Am I having a wet dream? You're not having a wet dream. We did wet dream things together. I was dumbfounded and looked up. A face I would never forget appeared before my eyes. Ji Juanza. My nemesis. How did he end up here? I sat up in shock, then lay back down. Ah, my back. Ji Juanza, how long did you go last night to mess up my back like this? Ji Juanza smiled smugly, his handsome face full of satisfaction. You were so passionate last night, he said. Having tasted the sweetness, he couldn't help himself. My face flushed red with anger. Shut up. Someone tell me, what exactly happened to me last night? I actually slept with my nemesis, and I even took the initiative. How embarrassing. Damn Ji Juanza, he got the benefit and is acting coy. I really want to beat him up. But right now I don't have the strength, my whole body aches. I have the will but not the power. How I hate this. Lin Weiwei, it was my first time. Whose isn't it their first time? I haven't even complained yet. It was your first time? I looked him up and down, doubting he was telling the truth. Everyone knows that Ji Juanza of Haiqing has admirers all over the place, and the number of his girlfriends could fill a foreign country. Didn't you feel it last night? What was I supposed to feel? I was stunned for a moment, and asked. The man looked at me aggrievedly, accusing, You said my technique was bad. Did I say that? I don't remember. You did, and I even recorded a video. Ji Juanza, you pervert, you actually recorded a video of this kind of thing. Delete it now. To prevent you from denying it after you're done eating. 4. Heh, give an explanation, my ass. I endured my shame and calmly negotiated with him. What do you want? In the end, I'm the one who lost out. He's a big man and he still profited. A sly look flashed across Ji Juanza's eyes, but his face was still unwilling. I want you to marry me. What did you say? I doubted I had heard correctly and asked again. The man still had that disgusted expression. Since it was both of our first times, then let's get married. It just so happens that my family is pushing me to get married, and this way we'll have an explanation. Heh, give an explanation, my ass. I picked up my clothes and left. Ji Juanza sighed and reluctantly took out his phone. Then I can only make the video public. Hearing that, I was so scared my clothes almost fell off, and I pounced on him to snatch his phone. Are you crazy? This is our sex tape. Yeah, let them see how Miss Lin ate me clean and refused to admit it. You. Well done. It's just getting married, right? Let's go. Let's get the marriage certificate right now. I gritted my teeth, put on my clothes roughly, and dragged Ji Juanza to the Civil Affairs Bureau. In today's society, you can get a marriage certificate with an ID card. In less than 10 minutes, we had our red booklets. Ji Juanza contentedly put away the 2 marriage certificates, ostensibly saying he was afraid I would tear up the evidence. I was amused he could keep them if he wanted. It's not like we couldn't divorce. Seeing that I was about to pat my butt and leave, Ji Juanza grabbed my hand tightly. Weiwei, when are you moving to Mountain and Water City to live? Weiwei. He's calling me so intimately. Move in to live with him. Dream on. I widened my eyes, put my hands on my hips, and said, You only said we were getting a marriage certificate. You didn't say I had to move in after marriage. Ji Juanza strategically took out his phone. Not this again. I frantically grabbed his big hand and said, word by word, Move, I'll move now. Just let me not find something to hold against you. Then I'll play you to death. After returning to my penthouse, the man sat on the sofa naturally, his eyes monitoring me. I casually packed a few pieces of clothing, pulled my suitcase out, and left. The man didn't say anything. He gentlemanly took the suitcase and left. Wei Wei only brought so few clothes. Are you hinting that I should buy you clothes? You dog man, no one would think you're mute if you didn't speak. Who cares about clothes you buy? I have plenty of money. I muttered behind him, but unexpectedly, he suddenly stopped, and my nose directly hit his hard back. Why don't you watch where you're going? Ji Juanza turned around, looked at my red nose, and his eyes were full of concern. I slapped his hand away and angrily questioned him. You're the one who suddenly stopped. The man smiled and apologized, lowering himself considerably. I looked at him suspiciously several times, wondering if this man was really the Ji Juanza I knew. How did he seem like a different person? Was he brewing some big move? Thinking of this, I instantly perked up, on high alert. What kind of look is that? After Ji Juanza put the luggage away, got in the car and fastened his seatbelt, he turned his head and asked me, You saw wrong. I quickly turned my face away, no longer looking at his triumphant face. What a person, smiling so wantonly. The most important thing now is to go home and tear the green tea bitch apart. After Ji Juanza took me to the Lin family villa, he thoughtfully asked, Do you need me to go in and help? I directly refused. What a joke. How could I throw a fit if he went in? The man nodded. Then I'll wait for you outside and see Grandma and them at home tonight. My chic departing figure was his reply. Sister? How did you? Lin Ruoro looked at me in shock, the usual fragility gone from her face. I smiled and approached her, and caught her hair when she wasn't paying attention. Ah. Sister, what's wrong with you? Let go. I quickly vented my anger, slapping Lin Ruoro's face twice. Let you drug me. Let you find ugly men for me. I let go of her hair, and kicked her twice. Lin Ruoro didn't expect me to attack directly, and was beaten without being able to fight back. By the time the servants came at the sound, Lin Ruoro had already been beaten with disheveled hair and ruined makeup. After being rescued, Lin Ruoro hid behind the servants in fear, pointed at me and shouted, Catch her for me. I wasn't stupid enough to stand there and let them catch me. I ran away. Lin Ruoro didn't expect that I would hit her and leave, and she screamed furiously behind me. Feeling refreshed after venting my anger, I walked with light steps towards my freshly baked husband's car. The second before getting in, I was in a good mood. The next second, seeing Ji Juanza's face, I instantly felt deflated. Sigh, miscalculation, miscalculation. How could I have been caught by this man's fatal weakness? It's causing me restrictions everywhere now, and I don't even know if I can secretly delete that video. Ji Juanza, with his keen senses, met my eyes and said in a sarcastic tone, What sly ideas are you thinking about? I immediately shook my head. No, I'm reliving the joy of tearing apart that green TB*TC. Damn man. He's very vigilant. The car quickly stopped, and Ji Juanza took out a box for me. This is the wedding ring. Put it on. What? He even prepared the wedding ring. That's fast. And it's the latest DR diamond ring. But, how did you know my ring size? Ji Juanza's face turned red. He opened the box and took out the woman's ring, putting it on my finger first, then handed me the man's ring, clearly meaning for me to put on him. I'm not going to humor him. I turned my head to get out of the car. At this moment, the man slowly started to take out his phone. I immediately reached out to snatch the phone, but I ended up falling into his arms and being trapped. Let go. It's rare to see you throwing yourself into my arms. Of course I have to take a picture to commemorate it. With a click, a photo of the two of us embracing was taken. I was so angry that I bit down on the man's chest. Oh, the man let out a seductive groan, giving me goosebumps all over. Wow. What game are Big Brother and sister-in-law playing? At this moment, a charming female voice came from outside the car window. I pushed Ji Juanza away as if electrocuted and buried my face in my hands. Ah, my lifetime of glory. Finally, I self-deceivingly calmed myself down, got out of the car, and faced reality with a smile. Hello, I'm Lin Weiwei. Looking up, I turned as pale as death. Why? Are there so many people? Did Ji Juanza call back the entire Ji family clan? I turned my head and gave him a look that could kill. What's going on? Didn't he say we were only seeing Grandma? Ji Juanza took my hand, walked in front of everyone, proudly raised our hands wearing wedding rings, and announced to everyone, "This is my wife, Lin Weiwei. Treat her like an ancestor from now on, understand?" The Ji family members present looked at each other, stunned. The previous female voice appeared again. "Big brother, are you serious? Treat her like an ancestor. Does Lin Weiwei deserve it?" Ji Juanza smiled, but his handsome face was chilling. "Are you questioning my words?" "Big brother, I didn't." The woman's expression changed slightly, and she immediately denied it. After making an example of someone, Ji Juanza took me into the old Ji family mansion. This man, he was a little handsome just now. Just because he supported me so strongly, I'll give him a good look in front of his elders later. The antique mansion exuded a profound ancient charm everywhere. Walking inside, it was like being an ancient person. We arrived at a secluded courtyard where a kind-looking old grandmother was sitting in the main seat of the living room with the Ji family elders seated on both sides. Ji Juanza smiled gently, took me to the old grandmother and softly introduced, "Grandma, this is your granddaughter-in-law. Weiwei, call her Grandma." I followed suit and called out Grandma. The old grandmother showed a kind smile and looked me up and down for a long time, extremely satisfied. "This is our Ji family's ancestral jade bracelet, only passed down to the eldest granddaughter-in-law." I saw her take off a jade bracelet from her wrist and, without saying a word, pulled up my hand and put it on. The action was so fast that the people on both sides were shocked. "Only passed down to the eldest granddaughter-in-law. The problem is, am I the eldest grandson's wife?" I was dumbfounded and instantly felt like the jade bracelet on my wrist was burning hot. Getting a marriage certificate with Ji Juanza was out of desperation, not because I sincerely wanted to be his wife. "Grandma, this is too precious." I quickly tried to take it off, but I couldn't. "What's going on? It was so easy to put on just now. It's like something supernatural." I looked at Ji Juanza, sending out an SOS. That jerk just shrugged, helpless. "Weiwei, once this ancestral jade bracelet is on, you can't take it off unless you pass it on to your eldest direct granddaughter-in-law. Is there a second way?" "Yes, unless you die." "Do you think that's reasonable? What era is this? And there's such a thing. This is a scientific society, not a fantasy world." Ji Juanza looked at me with a smile, not saying a word. I dejectedly lowered my hand, accepting this sudden heirloom. Grandma smiled triumphantly, liking me more and more. She took off the jade necklace around her neck and stuffed it into my hand. "Take this too. Seeing my eldest grandson get married makes me so happy. I want to give things away." I took it numbly, with a formulaic smile. "Thank you, Grandma. Whatever. I can't refuse it now, so I'll take it and give it back to Ji Juanza when I get home." So I kept receiving gifts until my hands were sore, once again marveling at how the Ji family, as a noble family, truly had so many relatives. Maybe we can call it a day for today. There were too many people, and I was afraid that by the time I finished meeting everyone, 2 trucks wouldn't be enough for all the gifts. Ji Juanza's lips curled up, acting cocky. "No, you must meet everyone today." He also had to put her on the family tree, otherwise, what if she ran away? Speaking of which, he waved over a servant. "Go see if the ancestral hall is ready over there." My heart skipped a beat. I had a bad feeling. "What else do you want to do?" Ji Juanza grinned. "Of course, putting you on the family tree, my wife." My mind went blank. "Oh, on the family tree?" No one told me that a marriage of convenience required being added to the family tree. Ji Juanza, you liar. "So that's why you made such a big fuss. You were waiting for me here," Ji Juanza said patiently. "Be good, let's go to the family tree first. The rest can wait." And so, I was pushed onto the shelf and dragged by Ji Juanza to be added to the family tree. By the time everything was settled, it was already around 4 in the afternoon. After going through all the tedious procedures step by step, I had no energy to argue with Ji Juanza about anything. I don't want to do anything right now. I just want to lie down. 6. An unrequited crush, yet someone can't resist jumping out to show off. That woman. She's here again. What method did you use to win over my brother? She actually made my brother protect her so much and give her such great privileges. Who are you? I couldn't even open my eyes properly, leaning lazily against the Chinese-style sofa, resting. I'm Ji Sanan, the eldest young lady of the Ji family's second branch.
Oh,
Ji Sanan was furious at my perfunctory attitude. Don't you have any manners? I'm talking to you. She didn't even bother to get up and look at her. Did Lin Weiwei really think the Ji family was a place where she could run wild? I suddenly exploded and slapped her, stunning the high-spirited Ji Sanan. Clutching her right cheek, she revealed a face of disbelief. You dare hit me? Even her parents had never hit her. I slapped her again on the other side. What about hitting you? Didn't Ji Junza tell you? Treat me like an ancestor and worship me. Are you blind or deaf, daring to point fingers at your ancestor? Knowing my bad temper, you still dared to hop around in front of me. If I didn't hit you, I'd suffocate. Ji Sanan was so angry that she lost her mind and rushed up to fight me. Her pathetic kung fu skills were something I couldn't even bear to watch. I closed my eyes and restrained her with one hand. Want to rebel against your superior? Have you thought about how you want to die? Lin Weiwei, it hurts. Let go quickly. Ji Sanan shouted in pain, attracting everyone else's attention. Ji Junza was the first to rush over, standing beside me with a gloomy expression. Ji Sanan, are you bullying your sister-in-law? Ji Sanan yelled. Who exactly is bullying who? She's the one being restrained right now, not Lin Weiwei. Ji Junza stepped forward, took my hand and coaxed. Be good, let go. I'll help you teach her a lesson. I released her, feeling a little uncomfortable, thinking he was definitely on Ji Sanan's side. Ji Junza faced Ji Sanan, his expression icy. Did you provoke her? Big brother, even if I provoked her, she doesn't have to treat me like this, right? She hit me, and even slapped me twice. Ji Sanan felt incredibly wronged, feeling that being beaten in her own home was a complete disgrace. She disturbed my rest and pointed at my nose, scolding me for being impolite. I falsely accused her first. I didn't feel any guilt at all, acting very high and mighty. Ji Junza looked at me with a smile, his eyes holding a kind of doting that could be easily misunderstood. I glared at him. What are you smiling at? You scolded her. Ji Junza's face changed in an instant, questioning Ji Sanan. Big brother, I didn't. The man laughed and called a bodyguard over, pointing at Ji Sanan. Throw her out and put her on the do not admit list. Big brother. Ji Sanan's eyes widened in panic, unable to believe her ears. Her big brother was actually kicking her out of the house for that woman. The bodyguard directly knocked the struggling Ji Sanan unconscious with a knife hand strike and carried her away. This swift and fierce operation stunned the Ji family. They looked at Ji Junza with fear, daring not to speak out their anger. I was even more dumbfounded. Wait, no one told me Ji Junza was this crazy, this. He really kicked her out of the house? I looked at Ji Junza with a little awkwardness and a hint of guilt in my heart. Grandma walked over with a kind smile, patting my hand. Weiwei, don't be afraid. She deserved it. Her eldest grandson had clearly warned her outside, but she couldn't control her mouth. She has only herself to blame. I was shocked. I blinked my eyes, looked at Grandma, then at Ji Junza, feeling a sense of unreality. Come, I'll take you to Ji Junza's room. Grandma took my hand and walked upstairs. At this time, Ji Junza became anxious. Grandma, there's no need to be in such a hurry. You're not allowed to follow. And just like that, Grandma took me to Ji Junza's room. Grandma locked the door with an excited look and then took me to the study. Weiwei, don't be too surprised by what you see later. I nodded, already letting my imagination run wild. Did that Ji Junza have a dead white moonlight or cinnabar mole? Tada, Weiwei, look. I looked up and my heart skipped a beat. Good heavens, a whole wall of photos, the main focus being photos of me. This is Junza's secret. Only he and I know about it. Now, there's you too. Grandma, with a happy expression of shipping their love, pulled me to look at the photos one by one. That stinky kid Junza has liked you for a long time. Every time he came back from school, he would secretly hide in the study and not come out. I was still in extreme shock, listening to Grandma tell me the secret of Ji Junza's crush on me. At first, I thought he was being bullied. I followed him anxiously to ask, but I found out. Haha, he even wriggled and refused to admit it. I laughed too, but my heart felt soft, with a feeling I couldn't explain. If he likes me, why did he have to go against me? Grandma wore the expression of someone who'd been through it all. Of course, it was to get your attention. He even secretly followed you home. You even hid him back then. He went home and told me with a look of grievance. Speaking of which, Grandma couldn't help but laugh. I still haven't digested the fact that Ji Juanza has a crush on me, so I can only laugh with Grandma. Come, these are the birthday gifts Ji Juanza has bought you every year. Grandma pushed open a bookshelf, and unexpectedly there was a hidden space inside, a small storage room. The small space was densely packed with luxury goods and cosmetics that socialites pursued, and rare and hard-to-find jewelry. The most eye-catching item was a festive wedding dress. Placed right in a prominent position, it was a fengguan xiape, traditional Chinese wedding attire. This man, Ji Juanza, has been plotting for a long time. He even prepared the wedding dress. I want to see what else he prepared. I marveled as I looked, and eventually became numb. That dead man even collected baby toys. Wei Wei, this is one of the betrothal gifts Juanza prepared for you. Are you satisfied? One of. Could there be more? I'm about to crack. You can ask him about the rest tonight. Me. 7. Forcing details. That night in the Shanshui City Villa district. Since Ji Juanza returned, he hasn't said a word to me. As soon as he got home, he hid in the study, saying he was dealing with company matters. I scoffed, seeing through his disguise. After taking a shower, I put on my pajamas, finished my skincare routine, and went to the living room refrigerator to find something to eat, feeling bored. I didn't eat much at the old house, and I'm a little hungry now. The refrigerator is full of ingredients, but I don't know how to cook. I took out my phone to order takeout when a large hand wrapped around my waist from behind, his tone flippant. Dressed so sexy. Are you trying to seduce me? I quickly stopped the man's hand from going further and slowly turned around, my tone teasing. Finally willing to come out? I thought he would hide for at least 2 days. Ji Juanza's handsome face flushed slightly, and he angrily lowered his head and kissed me hard, baring his teeth as he said, Lin Weiwei, are you proud of yourself? I tilted my swan-like neck and realized that this man was so tall. My height of 1.65 meters, 5 feet 5 inches, made me look like a child in his arms. Lower your head a little. My neck is sore from looking up. Although the man was reluctant, he still lowered his head, his eyes full of me. Ji Juanza, do you have a crush on me? The man's composure broke in a second, his ears turning red to the roots, and he glared at me fiercely. Are you done yet? Didn't Grandma show you the study today? I want you to say it yourself. How embarrassing to say that he has a crush on her in front of the person he has a crush on. He won't say something so melodramatic. I laughed softly, finding him cute and funny. Say it, say it. I continued to act cute and coquettish. The man suddenly seemed to have triggered some switch, his eyes becoming fiery, and his large hands pinched my slender waist tightly, as if he wanted to devour me whole. Wei Wei. The man's deep voice was slightly hoarse, making my whole body go weak. Dead man, you're cheating. Calling me wife won't work. You have to explain clearly to me tonight when you started having a crush on me. What do you like about me? You. Ji Juanza's kiss landed fiercely, completely silencing my unfinished words. Ji. Juanza, you. The man picked me up and placed me on the dresser, his large hands clasping the back of my head to prevent me from escaping, while the other hand tightly pressed my slender waist against his body. Fiery lips and tongue were setting fire everywhere on my heart, and I struggled to stay awake, wanting to resist his assault, but to no avail. I could only bite him hard. Wei Wei, you bit me. The man lowered his eyes, his passionate eyes looking at me wetly, captivatingly. Dead man. You're making it hard for me to resist. Hey! I panted softly, my breath like orchids. You haven't showered. The man roared in frustration and scooped me up in his arms, carrying me straight to the master bedroom on the second floor. I calmed down a bit, wanting to suppress the desire burning within me, but that man carried me straight into the bathroom. You asked me when I started liking you, right? I'm telling you now, from the first moment I saw you. I've liked you. When? In middle school. Weren't we underage then? This damn man. Truly a beast. So what? Good girl. You don't know. You were a legend among the boys' dormitories back then. Everyone was fantasizing about her, and from that time on, he began quietly eliminating every male around her. If he couldn't get rid of them, he'd just use his fists. I originally wanted to press him for details about his secret crush, but instead, I was forced to listen to a night of beastly words by this Ji Juanza. I regretted it so much my guts turned green. I'll never tease him so easily again. The price is a little too high. I can't handle it. 8. The Grand Confession Ceremony. The next day, I lay on the bed, my limbs like jelly, my mind blank. That man went out to work bright and early this morning. I'm impressed. He was so unrestrained last night. Isn't he tired? I lazed around until noon before I reluctantly got up to wash up. I held my back and went downstairs for lunch. Wuma had already prepared lunch and greeted me with a smile. Good afternoon, madam. Have some soup first. The young master instructed me to simmer this nourishing soup for 3 hours. My face flushed red, and I glared angrily at the bowl of soup. That damn man. Why does he have to say everything? I'm so embarrassed. I ate lunch absent-mindedly, thinking about taking a nap later, when my phone rang. I looked at the caller ID, Ji Juanza. I angrily hung up, not answering. Before long, the phone continued to ring, this time showing Grandma. I answered, and Grandma's voice came through. Wei Wei, are you awake? Me. I really don't want to answer that question. Wei Wei. Not awake. Maybe you should sleep a little longer. That stinky brat probably. I'm awake, Grandma. I quickly spoke up, or Grandma would definitely say something even more outrageous. Have you eaten? I have. Has Grandma eaten? I haven't yet. Do you want to come eat with me? I'm tired of eating at home. I want to try something different outside. Okay, send me the address. All right, see you later. Remember to dress up nicely. Okay, Grandma. I hung up the phone. Wuma smiled and brought over a gift box. Madam, this is clothes that the old madam sent over for you to wear when you go out to eat. Asked Wuma to take it to the room. Half an hour later, I was dressed and ready and left to drive. The drive was smooth to the restaurant Grandma had booked. Bright palace lanterns proclaimed that the restaurant catered to wealthy and distinguished clients. But why is it so deserted? I remember this restaurant being very famous. The lobby manager came over with a polite smile. Mrs. G, hello. Please come this way. I followed the lobby manager to the second floor. The antique corridor exuded a romantic atmosphere everywhere. Your style here. How has it changed? I looked at the decorations on both sides of the corridor, a little surprised. I remember it not being like this before, right? The lobby manager explained just right. Mrs. G, this was ordered by the owner. We soon arrived at the private room. Looking around, the G family were all there, dressed very formally, but everyone's expressions seemed a little abnormal. What? What's going on? Were we eating with Grandma? I looked around blankly, searching for Grandma. Bang! Something exploded. Petals fell from the sky, a shower of flowers that startled me speechless. Then Grandma walked out from behind the crowd, holding a light board. I took a closer look, and I was numb. It clearly read, Ji Juanza loves Lin Weiwei. No way. What is this all about? It didn't end there. One light board after another came out. My pupils dilated. Lin Weiwei is Ji Juanza's precious darling. Ji Juanza will never leave Lin Weiwei. Ji Juanza is willing to accommodate Lin Weiwei for the rest of his life. Ji Juanza wants to kiss and cuddle Lin Weiwei every day. I was so shocked by this sudden confession ceremony that my mind was blown, and I asked through gritted teeth, Where is Ji Juanza? I thought so. Why the Ji family's expressions were so strange. It turned out that they were forced by that bastard Ji Juanza to put on such a confession ceremony. He's just a crazy person who doesn't care about people's lives. Grandma stepped forward, her tone excited. He's gone to prepare a surprise for you. I chuckled. Was it really a surprise or a scare? Come, look over here. Grandma asked me to go to the floor-to-ceiling window and look at the sky. At this time, a drone pulled a huge balloon over, with words on it. Ji Juanza will always love Lin Weiwei. I squinted my eyes, and my heart trembled. Ji Juanza, are you trying to make me be laughed to death by the people of High City? Putting on such a unique and different confession ceremony, I really thank you. Grandma was as excited as a child. Wei Wei, look at the big screen over there. I turned my head numbly and looked at the big screen in the city center. On the screen was the man's handsome and peerless face. I held my breath, my beautiful eyes widened slightly. What does he want to do? I immediately took out my phone and called Ji Juanza, wanting to stop him from going crazy. But that man didn't answer. I resigned myself to looking up at the big screen. Hello everyone, I am Ji Juanza. Sorry to occupy public resources. Today, I want to confess to a girl I've secretly loved for more than 10 years here, and I hope she will like it. Lin Weiwei, I love you for the rest of my life, for eternity. Ji Juanza will always love Lin Weiwei. I am honored to be your husband, Lin Weiwei. For the rest of our lives, let's watch spring, summer, autumn, and winter together. Watch the sunset over Chang'an and watch the prosperity of the world. The square in the city center was getting more and more crowded because of Ji Juanza's confession. I don't remember how I got back. My mind was still in shock from Ji Juanza's public confession. The phone kept making dinging sounds, but I didn't bother to look at it. The sound of the door opening came from the entrance hall. I jumped up and looked at the door. Ji Juanza's slender and upright figure appeared at the door, walking towards me with a gentle smile. What's wrong? Moved by me? I rushed over and slapped that hateful handsome face. Ji Juanza, you bastard. Ji Juanza lowered his head, his eyes full of doting. Are you still angry? Want to hit me again? Why did you make such a big confession? Now the whole High City knows I have no face to see anyone. This confession, like a social death scene, really shattered my worldview. We were originally rivals. Now he did this. They must be gossiping about us. It's really hard not to be famous now. It will also become the talk of people's leisure time, which will really embarrass me to the point of digging out a villa. I want the whole world to know that the woman I secretly loved has become my wife. Also, let those men who like Lin Weiwei know to retreat in the face of difficulty. He doesn't want his wife to always be someone else's white moonlight and cinnabar mole. He wants to personally nip the bud of those men's secret love for Lin Weiwei. I looked at him suspiciously, feeling that his purpose was not just this. This bastard is good at playing tricks and confusing others. I want to put the label of Lin Weiwei on you, and also want to give you absolute security. I was stunned when I heard this sentence. This dog of a man, how does he know I lack a sense of security? Seeing my surprised little expression, the man chuckled softly. Weiwei, I've been watching you for over a decade. What a miscalculation. He's had a crush on me for over a decade. He probably knows all my quirks inside and out, right? And he still insisted on marrying me. It must be true love. 9. The feeling of being spoiled is truly addictive. That day, the sun was shining brightly, and Ji Juanza took me to a place. He was being so secretive. I was immediately filled with curiosity. We arrived at an open space in the suburbs, and I had a bad feeling in my heart. Is he going to do that again?
Please no.
One social death is enough. I don't want to experience it again and again. Weiwei, look. I shook my head, not wanting to open my eyes. I was afraid he'd confess again. The man's deep, magnetic voice sounded in my ear. Be good. This isn't a confession this time. Open your eyes and see. This is the empire I've built for you. I opened my eyes, and in front of me was a barren piece of land. So land equals empire? What are you doing? Ji Juanza held my hand, from east to west, and then from west to east, gesturing in a circle before returning. Weiwei, this 500 mu of land is all yours. 500 mu? In High City, where every inch of land is precious, Ji Juanza, this madman, actually bought 500 mu of land? Is he stupid? Even if he has a lot of money, he doesn't need to squander it like this, right? According to High City prices, this 500 mu is worth billions. I felt like I was having a heart attack. I was so jealous. Even though I'm not short on money, I can't easily take out billions. I remember you once said that you wanted to own a piece of land where you could build whatever you wanted. I was speechless and even felt a little panicked. What should I do? The feeling of being spoiled is truly addictive. This man knows how to win me over. Who can resist the temptation of 500 mu of land? Anyway, I can't. After reluctantly accepting the 500 mu of land, I barely gave Ji Junza a good look. Even when he was excessive in his demands at night, I endured it. Until he became more and more outrageous, fighting until dawn. I finally exploded. Ji Junza, even the oxen on the production team need to rest, right? From then on, I avoided Ji Junza for a full 2 days. I really couldn't take it. My friend Ji Nguyen laughed at me for a long time after hearing about it. I directly retorted, "Aren't you hiding from your husband too? What's so funny? We're both as bad as each other. No one should judge anyone." Ji Nguyen restrained her laughter a little, looked at me, and asked slyly, "Aside from Ji Junza being a bit excessive in bed, how has life been these past 2 months after the wedding?" I flicked my seaweed-like hair and smiled contentedly, extremely satisfactory. Ji Junza. Although his family is huge, he's still doing well. In the Ji family, I'm like an ancestor. The other members of the Ji family are respectful to me. My mother-in-law died early, and my father-in-law doesn't care about us. And Ji Junza spoils me unconditionally. It can be said that apart from in bed, Ji Junza is simply the perfect husband material. Ji Nguyen had a sweet, secret smile. "Then do you like Ji Junza?" I paused. Like him? I should like him. Otherwise, I would have divorced a long time ago. That marriage certificate can't restrain me. Getting on the family tree is a bit troublesome, but it's not impossible. 10. He's giving me everything, and he's really spoiling me. He's sincerely good to me. So good that I have an unreal feeling. Ji Junza, he really is a very, very good person. No matter how willful I am, how unreasonable I am, he unconditionally tolerates me. How can there be such a silly person in the world? I give so little in return compared to what he does for me. It's like 2 extremes. I remember asking him once. He said, "You don't need to do anything. You just need to wait for me where you are." Those words shocked me for a long time. The man saw me crying and said in an irritating tone, "If you feel bad about it, then try your best to satisfy me in bed, okay?" My shadowless kick was his answer. Is that question so hard to answer? Ji Nguyen's question pulled me back to reality. I said, "I like him." Hearing my answer, Ji Nguyen laughed as if it was worthless, and even joked that my day had finally come. "Have you heard? Your good sister is famous." I perked up and quickly asked what happened. Ji Nguyen, "I don't know who did this good deed anonymously, but your sister was caught by entertainment reporters having a wild time with several men." So, exciting? I clapped happily, feeling that this was simply karmic retribution. What goes around comes around. I hadn't even had time to cause her trouble, and she had already ruined herself. When I got home, several social elites were waiting at the Shanshui city villa. They looked like lawyers and also a bit like accountants. I looked at Ji Junza in confusion. "What's going on? Did you call lawyers to sue me just because I avoided you for a few days?" The others saw me and bowed respectfully, greeting me. "Mrs. Ji, hello." I nodded with a smile. "There are quite a few assets, and it took 2 months to sort them out. Madam, please sign here." "Huh, that idiot Ji Junza, what is he doing?" Looking at the pen the lawyer handed me, and then at the thick stack of contracts on the table, I looked at Ji Junza with a questioning gaze. Ji Junza smiled charmingly. "These are all the assets under my name, including real estate, shares, department stores, luxury cars, commercial streets." Ji Junza listed dozens of things, and I was a little worried that he would run out of breath. "Now that I've married you, I want to give you everything." I stared wide-eyed, looking at Ji Junza like he was crazy. Is this man stupid? That's all he has.
What? Touched.
My nose felt sore, and tears fell uncontrollably. I looked at Ji Junza through teary eyes. The man was still smiling brightly. Did he know what this meant? If I really signed, he would have nothing. Or, if I just ran away, he would. "I know you've always doubted my feelings for you, so now I'm giving you everything I have, giving you enough security, so you can love me with peace of mind, okay?" My mind was shaken. How could someone love so humbly and purely? Is Ji Junza such a love brain? I really don't know what to say. By the way, I had someone take care of your sister. Do you have any objections? Did he do what happened to Lin Roro? The hand I was using to sign paused. How could this man say such a thing without batting an eye or skipping a beat? Isn't that illegal? How could it be? I'm a law-abiding citizen. The man looked sincere. Just let her get far away. Okay. It was only later that I learned that the far away this man understood meant out of China. By the time I finished signing, it was already evening. The aunt had already prepared dinner. After we ate, Ji Juanza still had company matters to deal with, so I took a walk in the backyard and then went to take a shower. The bathroom was filled with steam, and I was focused on taking care of my delicate skin. A pair of large hands wrapped around me from behind, and a mature male body domineeringly surrounded me. Vei, you want. I quickly covered his mouth, preventing him from uttering those crude words. No, you don't. The man's deep laughter escaped from my hand. Large hands wrapped around my waist and carried me back into the bathroom. Ji Juanza, I've already washed. Be good. Accompany me for another wash. Ji Juanza, control yourself. I can't control myself with you. Be good. Just this once. Liar, I can't handle even one time with him. The two started a shameless and indecent activity in the bathroom.